the future. Jello Beats, holla at me.
Hampibide, Ngoyu Mwana Hampibide, Ngoyu Wabola, Bulu Mujende, I make the crowd go crazy, Bali Sondogede.
Welcome back to another episode of Chilanga Converses. Today the topic is music. Host bringing it to you today with a guest. I am Mr. Pars, so you can call me Sunday.
I'm Malundu, the Kingpin.
This is M.A.G.U Mwana Hampibide.
Yeah. Also a proud Chilanga resident, we might add.
Yeah. Born and raised here.
Born and raised, that's what we like to hear. There's not quite a lot of musical talent in Chilanga, I would say. But there are quite a number of underground artists.
Yeah.
And you've been in the game for quite a long time, right?
Yeah, for a while now.
So can you describe that scene, how it's like for artists to try and come up in our area?
Okay, so it's kind of hard because basically there's limited studios you can go to. Out of those studios, very few have got excellent equipment. Most of them have, mediocre, low quality stuff. I'm not trying to shoot down on them or anything, but I'm just saying they could also get some help, the people who own the studios, who run them. Then the other thing is people who own studios, most are not in it for the music, they're in it for the money. So, they won't really put you out there. You have to put yourself out there once you're done the song.
So it's more like they're not looking at any big picture. They just, pay me, I give you what you need. We part ways just like that.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a cash and carry kind of situation.
Yeah, but in a way, do you think that hinders the progress that can happen?
Yeah, it does. It does hinder the progress that could happen because if you have a studio owner who's willing to promote his artists, and that would go a long way. Be out there sponsoring them, help them out with money for shows, book them a show. Yeah. So it's all those small details that are needed because most of the people here in Chilanga are not well to do. So yeah, they really need help, even though they have talent.
Okay.
What we need is a creative space for artists to come to, create their magic, be able to showcase their talent and show exactly what it is that they can do. You talked about the cash and carry service, and I thought in a way that's what leads to mediocre productions.
Exactly.
Because the guy is thinking, I'm doing this for the cash, couple $100, right? So let me cut the record real quick. I move on, find someone else who can pay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even in terms of the ultimate vision, I think sometimes there's a perception that I'm gonna just do this record just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
This is a hustle, this is a business, this is how I keep the lights on. So I'm gonna push out this music, and after that, we'll let fate and destiny
take over. Yeah. It's more mechanical than an issue to do with passion, Yeah. It's like the way you go to your regular day job. You don't go there with a passion to work. You go in there to try and make money to put food on your plate. So yeah, most people don't have the passion for music down here.
At the same time, do you guys detect a lack of belief from the producer side in how far music can really go?
Yeah.
They don't want to risk anything themselves because they're most of these guys won't make it.
Yeah, most of these producers, you hear them say statements like, I can't wait to work with so-and-so, can't wait to work with J Cash or whoever it is, that big name out there. Whilst they're leaving the young talented guy in his backyard who just needs a little bit of help to get to a point where he can polish his skill, Yeah, and really let his art impact the whole nation.
Okay. So how did you come about your sound exactly? Because you have a unique sound.
Yeah, so it's based on different influences, but sound in terms of voice, that's really original for me. But yeah, you can tell the way I flow sometimes. It might be inspired by DMX or Snoop Dogg. I might rap real slow, just so you can get every single word I'm putting out there. But those were my biggest influences. So those are the people who really led me to do music. And, yeah.
Okay. And what inspired the Tonga style of things? That spice you added.
When I began rapping in Tonga, first I was rapping in English for a couple of years, like from 2010 to 2012. Yeah, started rapping in Nyanja. Then 2014 I decided to rap in Tonga. People just loved it, you know. I didn't really think it's gonna be nice, you know. I was just like, let me try this shit out. Let me try this thing out. My bad. Yeah, I'm already out there, so why not take this risk or this gamble? And it turns out people liked my rhymes better in Tonga than they ever liked them in English or Nyanja, you know.
Yeah. I'll admit I'm even one of them. You know.
Yeah,
That just makes sense.
makes a lot of sense, does it?
Yeah, especially that track that went viral around election time.
Hampibide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually my first song in Tonga. I did it in 2014. So when I dropped it. But yeah, you know,
People are
gold is gold.
People
Yeah,
are
it didn't
just
really
now
make that
jumping on
much
the
of
wave.
a wave back then, but now it's
People
it's
are
come back around.
Yeah. So how does it feel for you? It was like a song you did way back, and now that people are like finally jumping on it, how does it feel having to revisit it? You know, because it's so fresh for the community.
For me, it's like going down memory lane, you know. Yeah, it reminds me of the experiences I had when it first came out, the places I went and showcased my talent at, you know. So I really think about the road and how far I've come, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's good to see that something I did back then can still make an impact now.
Let me ask you this question: are you a perfectionist? I ask
Okay,
this. I ask this because I've heard that artists can be very critical about their work, like stuff that they do, and to imagine that the song that you did, like way back, now becomes such a pivotal part of the movement, of social change in the nation.
Yeah.
You know, like, would you be critical to say maybe I could have tweaked this or I could have added this line or anything like that?
Yeah, I guess I would be in the category of perfectionist because I don't like to rush to put my music out there. I'd like to have a listening session with a few friends, come around, give me feedback. I also criticize it myself when I listen to my music. I try to think of it from a third person's point of view, not from my point of view, you know. Yeah. And I've had a couple of songs I've redone because the first time it came out, it didn't sound that good.
Okay.
So yeah, I like to put out quality music, so I always make sure I double check and make sure that its message is good, the production is clean, you know. Yeah, and the rhymes, of course, they have to be tough because no space for weak rappers out here, you know. Yeah.
So usually when you're crafting a song or songs you're doing, is there like a specific demographic you are talking to or aiming to inspire in a way, or you try and accommodate as many people as possible?
Basically, when I'm doing my music, I don't really much pay attention to the fans. I know the fans are important, but I feel it's more important that I do what's coming from my heart, from my soul, you know. I preach a message that maybe an experience I've gone through, or an experience that any regular person can go through on their day-to-day lives. So yeah, the only demographic I've slightly leaned towards is maybe the party crowd, you know, the people who go out, love to dance, you know. Yeah. So I've done a few tracks specifically for them, but the rest of the tracks are just me telling my story.
Have you ever done a love song?
No, unfortunately not. Not yet. Yeah.
It's a tough crowd.
It's a tough crowd.
It's a tough crowd, yeah, and I guess at some point you have to be in love or something. Yeah, you know, out of love.
Yeah, we're not gonna touch that. So, genre-wise, I feel like your music is sort of fusion, like different genres.
Yeah.
There's like an Afro pop thing going on. There's a trap thing going on.
Yeah.
How do you go about moving between those borders?
I just go with the flow, depending on how nice the beat is, you know. Even before I start to rap, I already know how I'm going to rap. I may not know the words, but I'll know what type of vibe I'll bring to the table, you know. So I'm not really picky on what genre it is. What's most important is that I feel the vibe of the beat, and I really want to do it.
Especially trap.
Especially trap, yeah.
I feel like you're really comfortable on those.
I'm
trap
really comfortable
beats.
on the trap side of things. Although I originally started out as a hardcore raw hip hop artist. Yeah. So some of my songs, especially the ones that I did off the 17.5 mixtape, those were trap based. They were really designed for trap music and trap listeners, you know. Yeah. But for the rest, it's just been hardcore raw hip hop. Yeah. Maybe with a touch of Afro here and there.
That was the mixtape you did with Dango.
Dango, yeah.
So how did that idea come up? First of all, how do you guys just decide to?
17.5. I figured this guy is rapping in Bemba and Nyanja. I'm rapping in Tonga. So, you know, let's come and do something that nobody has ever done before, you know. Try and mix the two, Tonga and Bemba, on a single track and get these people to be together, you know, because generally we have this thing where Tonga people and Bemba people are, you know, kind of at each other's throats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just trying to bring it to their attention that we can actually get along, do music together, and it's wow, you know.
How do you describe the chemistry that you have, especially on a track?
On a track, me and Dango basically feed off each other's energy, you know. Yeah. I know there's certain tracks like Pepe on the 17.5. It just started as a chant, you know. We just say Pepe, Pepe, Pepe.
Pepe meaning no.
Meaning no, yeah. And after a while, we figured, okay, we have to do something. It can't just be Pepe, like that plain the whole way. So that's how we started coming up with, okay, what if I throw this in? What if you throw that in, you know? So we bounce off each other's ideas, and we always make good music when we're on the same track. Yeah, he's a talented artist, so I give him juice. Yeah.
Wow.
So what's it usually like? Okay, with Dango, you know, you guys have some history.
Yeah.
You know, but what's it like engaging in that creative process of like an artist you've never worked with before? How do you guys find that connection, that chemistry?
We'll sit in the studio, have a couple of drinks, you know, let the instrumental bump for like 15 good minutes, you know. I would ask the guy, what you think you got for this song, you know. Give me your sample hook. He'll give me his sample hook, I'll give him my sample hook. Sometimes we'll fuse the hooks together, or sometimes we just pick one, whichever sounds better, yeah, and relates more to the.
There's been a wave of collaborations, Zambian artists and South African artists.
Yeah.
You know, so many that you could point out among some of the prominent artists in the country. So, is there one in particular who you'd like to work with? You know, somebody who you think your vibe would match well, come across with a lot of energy on a track and just wow the crowd.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think I would really love to do a song with Costa Teach. Yeah, he's got that wild vibe, you know.
And he does trap music.
And he does trap music, yes. And he's also mixes a bit of Afro pop here and there. So yeah, I think it would really go down, you know. It would be history in the making.
You know, R.I.P. to Ricky Rick. I was thinking to myself, how nice would it have been if a Zambian artist had collaborated with Ricky Rick?
Yeah.
I think that flavor would have come across really, really well on a track.
Yeah, Ricky's style was one of a kind, you know. You don't really find it. I like the fact that he would switch between English and local language, you know. Yeah, and his style just has that vibe that would make you dance. Sometimes I'll be listening to certain songs and he's saying something in Zulu, and I'll just be like, I don't know what he said, but yo, man,
I like it.
I just like it, man.
Yeah.
Like that Sarkodie vibe, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that maybe some people in his own country don't really get what he's trying to say, but the vibe is on point.
That took Burna Boy all the way to the top.
Yeah, that did.
That vibe.
So the 17.5. You guys released that as a free mixtape.
Yeah, a free mixtape. It was a joint mixtape. Yeah, and Dosage Gang. That's the name of the crew.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was a free mixtape, just out there to get people to listen to us. Yeah.
So is it like an introduction to upcoming projects?
Yeah, we might drop a Dosage Gang album, but still working on it. You know, it's still down behind scenes. For now, I'm working on my single, I could say it's solo album. Yeah, I'll have features here and there, but I've just dropped a new single called Jata.
Touch.
Yeah.
Hold.
Or Catch.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite
Yeah,
a number
so,
of people vibing to that.
That one's off the Trap Goo album.
Trap Goo.
Yeah, just trap with Magu, you know. Yeah. So Trap Goo. Yeah. So that's what I'm working on currently. Yeah. So I've had Alshama make me a few beats. Putman Lee, also known as Ghost. Dos also made me a couple of beats. So just waiting to hop into the booth and kill them.
Majority of those collaborations are local.
Local, yeah. Mostly Chilanga guys. Yeah.
Supporting the community and giving back.
Yes.
It's better when people try and come up together than branching out, trying to make it on their own in completely foreign.
I think togetherness actually helps everybody out. If you see how our friends in the Copper Belt are doing it, whenever there's a young fresh artist with talent, they rally behind him, just to support his work, and eventually they come up with a couple of hits down the line. In Lusaka it's a bit difficult, I guess, because the city is big. Each and everyone wants to represent their own hood, Then people from your hood don't really want to do a song with you. They want to do a song with somebody who is already well known. But there's few people down here in Chilanga who are willing to work together and make some good music,
So we've talked about collaborating with like South African artists. What about local?
Local, for local artists,
who do you want to do something with?
Most likely Slap D, FJ Jizo. Yeah, those are the people I think I could vibe with if we're talking big artists. Maybe even Dismo if you're talking new artists. I like his vibe. Yeah. He's a sound rapper, I should say.
Can you elaborate for the people listening and maybe some of us right now what a sound rapper is?
Basically, he talks about real life situations, Yeah, something you can relate to. It's not a fictional story. It's something that happens in an everyday life of a person, Yeah. There's a couple of songs he's done. Big Paolo, it was about a guy from the ghetto. Yeah, his friends all knew he wasn't to be messed around with. But yeah, that's a true life story that somebody can actually attest to.
From what I've noticed from in terms of music is that the stories and the songs that come from life experiences are the ones that are most popular.
Yeah, because it's authentic. You can't fake authentic. When something's real, it just touches you. Touches your mind, your brain. I don't know which organ, your heart. Yeah, whichever you feel accepts music the most.
You're not talking about 10 bottles of Moet on a Wednesday just because you can afford it.
Yeah.
Okay, back to that whole underground scene. Because you find that there's not a lot of money, or say you find that a lot of people have to do like side gigs.
Yeah.
Tell us about yours.
My side hustle is basically dog breeding. That's my main thing. But other things I do, advertising as an agent for farmers. Yeah, I sell goats, pigs, cattle. Yeah, but mainly it's dog breeding. That's my thing.
I've always found that very fascinating.
Yeah, that all goes back to the Snoop Dogg DMX influence. Those were two rappers who always had their dogs in music videos. So growing up as a kid, I always used to feel like, when I grow up, I want to be like him. When I grow up, I want to have a Doberman in my backyard. I want to have an American Pit Bull, that type of thing. So yeah, once I had reached a certain age, I decided to save some money and go get myself some dogs and see how it goes.
Just naturally became a passion.
Yeah, it is a passion. Full-time passion.
Full-time passion. You've been doing that for like
12 years now.
12 years?
12 years, yeah. Dog breeding for 12 years. Rapping for about 14. Yeah.
Hence the moniker, the dog father.
Yes.
So, do you feel like, how can I say, M.A.G.U, the one who dog breeds, and M.A.G.U, the one who makes music, like, do you keep them separate or they sort of coincide?
They meet at a certain point, Yeah. Although they're mostly kept separate, because when I'm doing business, I don't refer to myself as the rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I refer to myself as a dog breeder, And when I'm out there trying to get a show, I don't talk about my dog business. I just talk about my raps, my music, and who I can work with, where I can perform.
So how do you balance your time between both? Because they sound pretty full-time, separate.
Yeah, full-time but separate. So with music, I just limit it to inspiration. Yeah, I'm not the type of guy who would go to the studio and just chill there the whole day.
Yeah, that is.
I know some people do it. It helps them out. For me, I'll have to have that feeling. Most of the time, most hooks just hit me in the head from nowhere and just keeps ringing in my mind. And I'm like, okay, I have to call Goodman Lee and he has to come up with a beat before I forget the rhythm and before I forget my wording. Yeah.
That's what's up. Especially...
I'd like to see you in your creative process. See how ideas just like ping in your mind, how you put them down on paper. You write?
Yeah, I write. I'm a writer. I'm not a freestylist.
Not doing that Jay-Z thing.
Super fun thing.
We can't all be freestylists,
But what do you think is the difference between the two, really, in terms of how they structure things?
A freestylist, most of the time, will just go with punchlines, Yeah, there's very few stories told. Yeah. Whilst a writer will have a basic storyline from start to end. You can follow throughout the song. There's somewhere this song is heading. Yeah. For every 2-3 lines, you can get that the scenery has changed from him being in the store to him entering the car, or whatever the story in the song might be.
I've always seen that as like the difference between Tupac and B.I.G.
Yeah.
Like Tupac would often tell stories, as where Biggie's just punchlines.
Yeah.
And I don't really see why there should be an argument between who's better, because they're different, aren't they?
They're different in so many ways. Yeah.
Who takes the crown for you?
Oh, here we go.
I'd have to go with B.I.G. His style, his flavor. That's what I loved most about B.I.G. He controlled the flow of the song. Pac, on the other hand, was charismatic. He would rap like almost non-stop, almost not giving the beat a chance to breathe, you know. Yeah, so sometimes I would even find it hard to sing along to a Pac song until I've listened to it a couple of times. But for B.I.G., you just listen to it twice and you sing in birthdays was the worst days. Now we sip champagne, now we're thirsty.
You already
simple.
know.
Sing along. Yeah.
And those are like the best for like turn up moments.
Yeah, for turn up situations, yeah.
Yeah, when everybody's singing along. But best Tupac song.
My best Tupac song would be To the End of Times.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
You were leaning towards that as well.
I see how it's his best Tupac song.
Oh. Where are you going with yours?
Best Tupac song. There are a number of them, but I would go with there's a Thug's Mansion song with Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah, it's actually called Thug's Mansion.
Yeah. So there was an original version, then there was one that was reworked, and there's that one with Anthony Hamilton. That one I think takes the cake for me.
Okay. I'd either go with Ghetto Gospel or Dear Mama.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dear Mama, right? Okay. Top 5 hip hop.
Are we talking
Let's get
international? Are we talking
We're
local?
talking everywhere. Let's get some controversy going.
Yeah, okay. Wow, that's
You
hard.
hear what M.A.G.U said?
Because I'm trying to divide them between new school and old school, but yeah.
Maybe before you start,
Yeah.
the game recently. I mean, he's been doing all this promo for his album that he's gonna drop. You know, the single is that song with Kanye West, Easy, with Pete Davidson's head in the music video. So Game said that he could rap better than Eminem. So
But what does he really mean by better?
do you think Game can out-rap Eminem?
It's hard to compare art because, artists are different. It's like looking at Picasso's painting and then trying to compare it to Houdini's magic, It's two different types of art.
Have they ever done a song together?
Have they?
Game and Eminem?
Game and Eminem, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I feel like it's easier to really tell the difference when they had done something together. Like Lil Wayne and Eminem.
Yeah.
Like when I listen to them on a track together, I kind of feel like they cancel each other out,
Yeah.
despite how different they are.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't feel like one bodies the other. They're just like both strong on a track. But I do not know if the Game could do that with Eminem.
I think the best way that you can judge is if you imagined there's a crowd of people, right? Like it's a rap battle type of thing, right? So the Game drops his verse, and then you get a reaction from the crowd.
You know, as soon as you even said it, really, in my mind, I already saw the winner.
I don't think I saw the same winner as you.
Oh, okay, who did you see?
I saw Game being the winner.
For real?
Yeah, I've always viewed music as it's based on people's opinions, people's preferences. I give juice to Eminem. He's a damn good rapper, like one of the best. Yeah. But I've never been an Eminem fan. Yeah, I appreciate his music. I'll download it. I'll listen to it. But I'm not the type that would listen to his whole album back to back for days straight. Give me a Game album. I could listen to it for 3 months straight and not skip a single song. Yeah.
So what is it that draws you to the Game's music? Is it the intensity of his rap? Is it the pictures that he paints?
I think it would be the pictures that he paints and the fact that he's raw. Yeah, he's one of those call him street guys. Basically came up as a street guy. He's really raw. He really affiliates himself with the streets and people in his hood. Yeah, he's always moving with somebody he grew up with. You know, he's the type that wouldn't hire bodyguards. He's got his friends as his backup. You know, so that family kind of spirit he has with his posse or his peers. Yeah, that kind of draws me towards him. And I've heard a couple of albums that have really touched me. Where I go and say, wow, this was some conscious music, man. I think my favorite albums could be Jesus Peace and the Red Album. On those two, he really hit it home for me, man.
Was One Blood in the Red Album?
No, that was off The Doctor's Advocate.
Okay. Then I'd have to go to Doctor's Advocate and Jesus Peace. Those were just amazing. Melinda, who won for you, man?
Eminem.
Eminem.
Straight up.
As we discussed, I guess it's preference.
Yeah,
At the end of the day.
For you?
I already said Eminem.
Eminem.
Eminem, bro. But I don't think it's really a competition.
No, it's not, because the message they preach is totally different. You know. Yeah, they almost live in parallel worlds. Like they're almost together, but not together. Because Eminem also came from a low background. You know.
Yeah, but it was.
He's had dealings with people on the streets. He's got people he knows from out there. But what he raps about is not the same as what the game would rap about.
It's mostly about getting bullied in high school.
Yeah.
Wife leaving him, stuff like that. This is a bit. Yeah. I wanted to get your opinion on that Easy track with the Game and Kanye West.
Wow. I think it was alright, you know. But to be honest, I used to be a Kanye fan, very big Kanye fan, till Jesus. I think his music just went downhill from there. Yeah, and I think if they had done it maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it would have been made a bigger impact, or maybe been a better song than what it is right now. Yeah, I think right now it's mostly because they're already established and it's two big names on one song, so you just give them juice. You know what I mean, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not take anything away from their rhymes, but give it back to them in the time when they were really hungry for music. They would have done way more than what they did.
Yeah, it's much different in the sense that I feel like Kanye West is now coming sort of back from, you know, that praising music. Now he's going a bit harder with the rhymes again. So I feel like he's just trying to come back into it.
I was reading a review of Donda 2, and the author of the article was saying basically what Kanye's been doing now is that he's been reduced to publicity stunts. You know? So it's like he's trying to feel excuse me, he's trying to feel the passion of being on top of the world like he was back then. You know, he drops Donda, he has the stadium listening event for it. You know, in a way, you could sort of assume that he's trying to like soak in all that aura from performing to feed off that energy for him to make really good music. Yeah. And ultimately, the review of Donda was that it wasn't Donda 2 was that it wasn't really good. I listened to it and I basically feel like I don't have any memories from the album to take away from the album. The City of God song is in the album, but like I don't know. Kanye makes for a very controversial figure these days.
Yeah, I also feel Kanye he's shifted around so much. You know, went into gospel music, came back. I feel if you're an artist, the best way to perfect your style is to stick to what you do best. You know, not that going into gospel music is a surplus. I just feel he's kind of lost. He's trying to find his way. He's not really sure whether he should be doing secular music or gospel. He's basically just moving with emotion. Yeah. Depending on how he feels that day, and he's going to put out
He
some type of music.
is. You can see that he is at a crossroads in a way. You know, the divorce, and you know, he's basically gone back to being all alone, really, isn't it? Because he lost his mother.
Yeah.
Not really close with family. And there's that whole custody thing with the children. So you don't really know which Kanye you're gonna get nowadays.
And I feel when you take a break from music for a while, it's not everybody who can bounce back. Not everybody can be Jay-Z, you know, come back and do it better than you did before.
It's like you never left.
Yeah. Most people have a hard time. Look at DMX before he passed, you know. Yeah. He put out an album. I'm a big X fan. I listened to the album, but I was like, you know what? I still like his album in 2004 way better than the one he put out last year.
So how do you maintain that consistency yourself? You know, having been in the game so long.
I just go with my gut feeling, you know. When I'm making music, I'm actually not trying to impress anyone or trying to make a hit. I'm just trying to make something I'll listen to later on and love it and feel like, okay, I'm proud of this song, you know. Yeah, it's out there. My lyrics were on point. Yeah, the producer did a good job on the mixing and mastering. Yeah, that's really my focus. Just do me and see where it goes.
I can sort of liken that with Kanye, but not Donda 2, because I think Donda 2 was mostly just like leftovers from the first Donda.
You heard about the stem player?
No. Haven't.
So Donda 2 was sold exclusively for $200
Okay.
on a little device called a stem player.
Okay.
So this thingamajig can remix tracks while you listen to them,
Okay.
right? So you have 4 tracks loaded into a stem, and then you can have them being played simultaneously,
Yeah.
right? So one track in each stem, and then it remixes them and stuff like that. So the first day, like 4 tracks were uploaded to the stem. The next day, 12 tracks were uploaded.
Yeah.
And this thing has like no visual interface.
Okay.
Bear in mind, it costs $200.
Yeah.
So it's more of an aesthetic choice than anything else.
Yeah.
So I sort of feel like it's kind of like make the album good yourself. You know, if you don't like it, make it better.
Remix it.
Yeah.
Give you a whole
Yeah.
thing for it.
I guess all of us rappers should be using it.
So it goes back to the thing about gimmicks.
Yeah.
You know, like he's trying to find a way just to go out there.
But his live shows are quite amazing, aren't they? Like a lot of people go crazy at those shows.
Yeah, they must be.
What's the excitement about the fest?
I'm not
Because
even
most
really
people
sure.
would be excited just to see the artist that they really wanted to see. You know, you've never been in the same vicinity with him. You're standing about 50 meters away from him, and you're excited about that. It may not necessarily be the song.
Mm-hmm.
It may just be the artist and the vibe he carries around him. You know.
Yeah, I remember seeing this video where there's like a little, I think there's a little keyboard, and you remember how my dark twisted fantasy, how that starts, those keys.
The keys,
He would just do like one key and the whole stadium erupts.
Yeah.
And he would just wait. He'll just bask in the glory.
Yeah.
And then he'll do it again. And then everybody goes mad.
Yeah. You know, one thing about most artists, they're addicted to fame. Right? They're addicted to the sound of the crowd cheering, calling their name. That's what most artists feed off. Yeah. So when your career starts to go downhill, for some it does go downhill. So for those who have a situation where it goes downhill, they end up depressed because the crowd isn't giving them that feedback that they used to have back then. Yeah.
Like Omarion when he came to Africa. And like, well, how many people showed up? 3?
Wow.
Maybe I'm being generous. swear, like a lot of people just didn't come.
Wow.
But talking about shows, in your shows, how do you like to interact and vibe with the crowd? How do you like to lead them to where you want to go?
Basically, I start with an interaction with the crowd. Holla at them. How you doing? Mulibwanji, muliche, mumbela mushe. And kick a freestyle for them a cappella.
Just get them worked up.
It usually does the trick. Once I kick an a cappella, most people start to vibe to my music, and then I can tell the DJ just to drop the jam. So I like to start with a banger after my freestyle. Simmer it down to some mellow tracks strategically, because some of my tracks have quick raps, really fast. So I'll need a slower track so that I can catch my breath. Yeah. And then I end with a banger.
The whole process sort of feels like a conversation with someone new.
Yeah.
It's like you're introducing yourself to them.
Mm-hmm.
You're showing off certain things which they'll like, to get them to like create this bond with you.
Yeah, it's sort of like taking a girl on first date. You want to make a good impression. You want to make conversation. Yeah, you want her to be interested, and you want her to come see you again. So yeah, that's basically what I do with the crowd.
Okay, so you must be quite a people person.
I think I am. Yeah, I think I am a people person, because I have friends of all ages. My oldest friend is 68.
Okay. Yeah,
and my younger friends are like, I don't know. I think I even consider my nephews and nieces my friends. So yeah, I would say maybe 9.
Yeah, we always believe here that it's about people coming together.
Yeah.
There's always something you can learn from anybody, really. Everybody knows something you don't.
Everybody brings something different to the table. Sometimes you may have an opinion on a certain matter, and somebody will bring a different opinion that will enlighten your view or broaden your view.
Yeah, can totally appreciate that. So when are we gonna come to your show? Please invite us. Like any shows you got planned for the future?
For now, I don't have any shows of my own, but I'll be at the Z Fest, 12th March, next weekend.
Okay.
Showgrounds. So I've been invited by El Salim, the owner of Two Tough Records. Yeah, him and his brother Clive are the ones who are bringing this together. And they're going to bring a couple of underground artists. Yeah, and I'll be there showcasing my talent.
El Salim used to have a studio in Chilanga, right?
Yes. Now it's based in Chalala because he moved out the hood.
Okay, it's good to hear that he's kept going.
Yeah, he has kept going. Two Tough Records. Yeah. Anybody in Chilanga knows Two Tough Records.
Yeah, consistency.
El Salim was like our Dr. Dre, Yeah, he dropped a couple of songs. Nimayo, Kuliheo Kumanda, Yeah, Ushendile Mwana Wako, those types of songs. Controversial, but made a lot of sense.
Yeah, a lot of neighborhoods need figures like that.
Yeah,
like we said, believe in music, believe in the youth.
Yeah.
So Z-Fest.
Z-Fest, yeah. Catch yourself there. Charges 100 kwacha. Yeah. The main event of the night will be Chandana K. Yeah, but there'll be so many other artists showcasing. So come through and have a good time with us.
We look forward to it.
Yeah.
Hopefully no stages break down.
No, not gonna happen.
But it's quite impressive that the stage actually broke down, because that's passion right there.
That's a lot of energy.
You're not just getting paid to do that.
Wait, am I missing something? The stage broke down.
Yeah, Chanda and K were performing, and the stage came down.
was like one of those Travis Scott situations, you know. Yeah.
They must have been raging.
Yeah, their dances, they don't know where they get the energy from.
Neither do I, you know. Yeah, lots of power put into them.
Yeah, I guess you have to, and they can do a whole concert just like screaming, right?
Yeah, you have to give it to them. They can hold it down, you know, for like an hour or so.
No losing your voice or anything. All right, so you didn't answer it before, and I'm gonna come back to it. Top 5, M.A.G.U.
Top 5.
Top 5. That's
I'd have to go top 5 of all times. Old school. I'd put B.I.G. first. I'd put Snoop D.O. Double G. I'd put DMX. And I'd put The Game. Then T.I. would be my number 5 on the list. Yeah.
that is indeed controversial. Explain to me the T.I. part again. Like what's
I feel T.I. he was our first taste of trap, you know. He kind of pioneered trap. Way before we had this trap music, he had that trap sound, you know. ASAP, are you trying to play me? You know, that type of he did have it. He's kept his style consistent. He hasn't had to change even with this transition of music. And he's had good albums. I can name at least 3 or 4 albums that I really loved a lot. King, T.I. versus T.I.P., Urban Legend, and Paper Trail.
okay? I thought I was gonna hear something that I could, argue against, but all those points were valid, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We would like to do a follow-up to this because...
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you're always welcome back. Thank you for coming to grace us with the image that is the Dogfather.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely. We will leave all the necessary information in the description. I have been... before we end the show, let me just do a shout out to the people in Ukraine at the moment who are going through such a lot, and we hope everybody does their best to come out of that conflict. All right, I have been your co-host, Sunday, or you can call me Mr. Pars.
Mulundu, the Kingpin.
And M.A.G.U Mwana Hampibide.
Until next time, signing out.
Chilanga Converses.